Welcome, welcome, welcome. You're listening to the Ask Brien radio show on KHTS 1220 and 98.1 FM. Chris, our engineer, has that button and he loves to say and. I don't know why, but he loves it. Anyway, you are listening to the Ask Brien radio show, and Ask Brien is spelled ASKBRIEN because the only way to spell Brien is BRIEN. There are a lot of other people that think that there are other ways to spell the name. That is the only way to spell the name. Ask Brien is part of the AskBrien.com network. And the Ask Brien radio show was created to help out people that have business problems, business issues, or may just have a business question trying to find out an answer. With Ask Brien, we have two different major sections. We have a business community section whereby a person who does watch repair in New York City can speak to somebody who does watch repair in Arizona. While they may be in different states, there may be some different rules, the reality is industry problems usually are going to be similar. So, for instance, they may have problems with, hey, they dropped off the watch and didn't pick it up. What do I do? Well, that is technically a legal issue, but it also is a business issue that watch people have to work with. The other issue is, what if the watch is under warranty, or et cetera, et cetera? Any type of industry-related question, you go to AskBrien.com and you can ask another business owner in the same industry a question. Then we also have experts, and this is where our famous engineer tells us that what does it qualify in order for you to become an expert?
Well,
on Ask Brien.
Well, to qualify as an expert, you have to have at least, about 10,000 hours of experience in your field to be considered an expert? Is that right, Brien?
Well, now I'm going to throw you a fish because I've trained the field well.
Yes.
Okay, you get one fish for that. I hope you like the fish.
I do like fish.
Okay, but you don't have to first of all, why 10,000 hours?
Why 10,000? Because I think, isn't it 10,000 hours is the kind of like the criteria, like, because you would basically practically be an expert with 10,000 hours of just experience in your own head, right?
Well, 10,000 hours is very close. You get half a fish for that. I'll give you a guppy.
Yes.
So 10,000 hours is basically 40 hours a week, 50 weeks a year, because you do get 2 weeks vacation.
Okay.
5 years. After you have that much experience, you probably have a good enough background and understanding that you can handle and respond to a question as an expert. Now, that is not the only requirement, because you can also become an expert with certain life experience and other criteria, and you may not have the same amount of hours, but you still have enough to qualify. Now, Mr. Engineer.
Yes.
What does the E stand for in Ask Brien?
Well, there's a number of different types of words that the E stands for, but to name them off, the E stands for excellence, because you have to be excellent to be an expert. Expert's another one, because, well, there is no E without expert, or expert without E. That's probably the phrase. Empathy's good. Effort, and then I have my own personal little favorite one, that's engineer, because you always need the engineer.
And you must have enthusiasm.
Ooh, is that a new one? I like that.
Yes.
Enthusiasm. All right. That's a new one to the list.
We like the E's. Why? Because that's how you spell Brien, with an E. Anyway, we have today my co-host.
Good morning.
Tamara. Where? Are you there, Tamara?
I certainly am. You forgot the ethical entrepreneurs. Come on, guys.
Well, that's true.
Oh, that's right. I do remember that.
Not only that, but what did I do? I strained your ear. That starts with an E as well.
Guess what we're talking about today? Another E.
Exactly.
E-commerce. Awesome.
E-commerce, another one. Well, today's guest, her name is Natalie Nichols, and she's calling in from, I'd say, about 8,000 miles away? I don't know, 7,000 miles away. Not close by, but she's up. It's early in the morning for her, and we have a whole bunch of questions today. Today, our show is going to be dedicated and concentrating on digital transformation. So our first question is, Natalie, what is digital
Hello.
transformation?
Wow. Well, what a great one to start with. So first of
I
all,
want to make
hello,
sure that she had her
LA.
coffee.
Ah, well, I'm actually sipping a green tea, but hello, LA. I miss you. I miss you. With this whole COVID thing, I haven't been over for a bit. So, yeah. Anyway, let's get down to it. Digital transformation. Wow. Let's have a look at that. So what I consider digital transformation is how you take a regular business and you supercharge it by putting it online so that a business that could be just a little regional or localized business can suddenly become a global player. And, it's a little bit like how I see myself now. Rather than just being an Australian, I'm kind of a citizen of the universe or the globe. When you start working in the internet, and I've done that for so many years, I can't even remember how many, you tend to feel that you belong in all countries because you can actually reach people everywhere. And that's exactly what the crux of digital transformation is, being able to deliver your product or service to a far greater audience or a global audience using the internet. And then it drills down into a whole heap of processes and a whole heap of things that you need to do underneath that. But that's the overall concept of what you're trying to achieve.
And we had a couple of questions that we typically start our show with, so I just want to go over background. So how long have you been, first of all, how long have you been doing digital transformation and handling issues involving the internet? Has that been your entire career, or is that something recent?
1996. So a while.
Okay. So you've been doing that quite a while. Is that the first job you had when you started in the work world, or did you? And I'm not talking about.
No, it wasn't actually. No,
so how did you start?
I left college. I left college, as you guys would call it, or university as we call it here, and I did what everybody does. I started my own. I started my own consulting company. That's what you do, isn't it?
Well, certain people do. Most people are scared shitless. Most people do not get involved.
Oh, I don't suffer from that. So no, I started my own consulting company in human resource management, actually, and quality. So I did that for a few years, and circumstances changed. I met my husband, and I moved to a different location, and I ended up consulting, which turned into, by way of how most people end up in IT, I ended up there through a set of crazy circumstances and found myself managing a massive project with a huge budget and a team of 150. So, yeah. And then I basically have been in IT and digital marketing ever since 1996, 97.
And that's how we met.
Yeah, I've
which is fantastic because, I am the creative one, as you know, Brien, and I needed a tech genius, and, she was able to take my products and put them online and get them into the hands of my exact client and my target market. And, in 2 years, I took my business from under $500,000 to over $10 million by selling online. So she's a little bit of a genius.
Just a tad.
You're too kind.
You know what? I think you could become an expert.
I think that qualifies, Brien.
Yeah.
Now, you would have qualified as an expert, though, and the point being without 10,000 hours, because if you could do something like that quickly, that takes a lot. And, we tip our hat to people like that. We say, you know what, job well done. And that is something that is not easy to do. The fact that you've done that, that would be the type of person that could qualify as an expert. Now,
Thank you.
When you started out, did you on day one, you were just actually on top of the game, CEO, and handling every possible issue, or did you start with various issues and gradually expand yourself?
Myself? Well, as I said, it was a very interesting situation for me, and it was something that probably would never happen again. But it was just one of those serendipitous things. I was a special projects manager in a large council for the largest council in the world, actually. And the director of that whole division came to me and said, we've got an IT project that's gone rogue. I don't trust IT, but I trust you to solve my problems. Go over and fix them. And I went, sure. And when you're 24 or something, and the big boss says, go do that, you toddle off and go sort it out. So I did. Well, and that's how I kind of, when you've got the Lord Mayor jumping up and down and screaming and everything's not so great, then you just get your head down and figure stuff out. And that's what I did. And I guess that's part of what's made me successful is the fact that I'm curious and I don't give up until I get the results at the end. So, yeah, I've been through so much. Sorry, go on.
Did you have a mentor, or did you just do this on your, for instance, normally when you start out in a career, no matter how much talent you have, typically you need to have a little bit of like a blueprint or a broad range thing so somebody can show you a couple of things, the ins and outs of things, right? Did you have anything along those lines, or you just actually completely winged it?
Dived right in? Well, look, I dived right in, but I saw two things to the problem. One was a tech problem, and then the second problem was the fact that it is a highly political organization. I knew I could manage the politics, but I didn't have the technical skills. I knew that walking into that project. So what I had to do was figure out and find who was the best person that could manage the tech while I could manage the politics. And so basically I went and found myself the guy that had the best reputation, and I did what every good entrepreneur does. I went and offered him a whole heap more money than what the other person was paying him, and I stole him over onto my project. And basically I look at it from the fact that I served a technology apprenticeship. So I basically let him teach me what I needed to know about big end tech, and I managed the resourcing and all of the politics, and we had some amazing wins, and everything just kind of rolled from there. And that really, set up my career in technology from there on. But that was, I was working at the big end of town, as we call it, from government and corporate, so I spent a lot of time there. And then really for the last, 10, 12 years, I've been working more so with startups and small businesses, which to me is far more rewarding than working with the corporates.
Tamara, you had some questions?
Yeah, well, it's really interesting because, Nat, everyone right now is almost in a sense of urgency. If they haven't evolved their business to be online and they're a services-based business or a bricks and mortar-based business, they really need to do it quite quickly and get to revenue. And one thing that the government is actually paying Natalie to do at the moment is turbocharge businesses that are traditional and turn them into online businesses and making international sales within 80 days. I'm pretty sure our listeners would love to hear how she does that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool program that we have happening over here in Australia at the moment. And exactly as you said, Tamara, we go in, we work with a bunch of startup entrepreneurs or entrepreneurs that have got small, they may have started a business and it's very nuclear stage. And what we do is we look at it, we start with a strategy and say, okay, where's the market for this business? What's the why for this business? We look at who is the perfect customer for this business. And then we figure out what the offers are going to be for the business, because just like you would put an offer up in a regional or a localized business, if you're going out onto the internet and to put your business online, you need to be really clear what your offer is. So that's a fundamental thing. And even more so on the internet, you must be very clear what your offer is in order for people to be able to, A, understand what you are offering them, and B, be able to accept it and essentially buy from you. So we start with all of that work first when we're dealing with our businesses in the lab. And then what we do is we progressively expand on their technology platforms, their skill sets, and all of the relevant things that they need to be an entrepreneur. So that generally starts with a website. Fundamental thing, just like putting up your shingle on your front door, you need a really good website to let the world know what you do. But having a website's not enough, and we see this all the time. People come to us and say, but I've got a website, but nobody's buying anything. And then when I go and take a look at their website, it's no surprise why. Because, again, their message may be convoluted. It may not be just direct. They may not have a very clear offer. And then we go into the other realms of, you don't just get traffic by having a website out there. And what I mean by traffic is people coming to the website, spending time on your website, clicking through the pages, absorbing the content, and then ultimately purchasing or taking some sort of action that you want them to take as a result of having your website there. So it's learning about how to put all of that traffic, how to make your website and your business attractive to people in an online audience.
Well, it sounds very simple, doesn't it, Brien, coming from a tech expert? But, I mean, a lot of businesses don't have those experiences. And one thing you said to someone that you were mentoring, a small business you were mentoring, was you're already doing social media socially. Let me show you how to do that to attract people. So what sort of tech skills do we need? Are we having to be a genius like you, or can anyone jump on and have the basic skills to get this started?
Well, the great thing of where technology's evolved to over the last particularly 5 years is that the average person, as long as they've got some basic computer skills, can pretty well get themselves up and running. If you can use your computer then, or your phone or your tablet, then you've got a pretty decent chance of getting something up and running online if you pick the right platforms and follow the bouncing ball. So I wouldn't be, one of the things that people have said in the past is exactly as you said, Tamara. You've got tech skills, it's easy for you. Yes, it is easier. Tech always has its challenges, but the platforms today are very, very user-friendly, particularly if you go for ones that are particularly set up for that. And then it's also not difficult to acquire some really, really good skills globally for some very, very small amounts of money, both onshore in America and Australia and offshore. There's some great areas that you can hire tech skills through Upwork and Fiverr and heaps of those sorts of environments depending upon your budget.
Shopify is almost like an instant store, so that's pretty exciting. Hey, Brien.
Yeah, Shopify is it's wonderful for if you've got an e-commerce store, and maybe I should just explain a little bit about that. So the difference between a website and an e-commerce store is kind of how you decide what platform that you want to use. If you've got a whole heap of products that you want to sell in a store, then Shopify is a great bet for that. Shopify.com, and pick a template and follow the bouncing ball, and you can essentially get your products online and up and running. If you've got something that's more services orientated, then and you have got a little bit of tech skills, then something like a WordPress site is very good and quite inexpensive. Another great platform that I often recommend to a lot of people that are a little tech challenged and a bit nervous is Wix. Wix has come so far, Wix.com. It's come so far in the last 2 or 3 years. That's a platform that has really transformed a lot of small businesses. It's super easy and they don't have to worry about any tech stuff, no hosting. So if you want a turnkey solution, then Shopify or Wix.com are two great options.
We're going to have to take a break, and then we're going to be right back with Tamara and with Natalie.
If you'd like to take your business up a notch, take a look at Elite Magazine.
Linda and Mo Hafizi, owners of our Valley's 2 leading magazines, the Magazine of Santa Clarita and Elite.
I'm so proud of Elite. It allows your advertisement to stand out. We distribute Elite to 50,000 homes and businesses. You'll find us in 1,900 local hotel rooms.
Discover how Elite Magazine can help your business. Call 294-4444.
Superior quality is second nature to us. Just ask our advertisers.
Greetings, Santa Clarita. Hey, this is Bill Reynolds, president of our Veterans Memorial Committee here in SCV. This is a public service announcement to let you all know that, unfortunately, we have to cancel our standard Memorial Day ceremony, which was held every year at Eternal Valley. Crowd gatherings are not allowed per the COVID-19 virus. Therefore, we will conduct an abbreviated ceremony that will be aired on KHTS hometown station at 10 a.m. Thank you.
The coronavirus has put us in a position of creating a new normal. Family Law at Home understands. Their goal is to meet you in the safest place possible, and these days that might be in your own home in a virtual meeting. Family Law at Home will provide you with immediate advice on your family law matters, such as divorce cases, child custody disputes, and domestic violence. It's as easy as going to FamilyLawAtHome.com. You'll choose your own consultation date and be in immediate contact with one of their esteemed attorneys. Family Law at Home handles the legal aspect while you and your family navigate the new chapter in your lives. Go to FamilyLawAtHome.com.
If you have a business problem, if someone doesn't honor their agreement and you need an aggressive attorney with over 27 years experience, the law office of Peter Bronstein has helped partners resolve disputes, franchisees resolve disputes, and other business owners who have a challenge. Let the law office of Peter Bronstein take your stress away. Visit lacorporateattorney.com. Don't wait too long and lose your rights. Solve your business challenge problem today. Visit lacorporateattorney.com.
Hometown, your hometown station.
Welcome. You listen to KHTS 1220 and 98.1 FM because our engineer has that in button and he loves to say it. Anyway, we were talking earlier and we have a lot of information. So normally we'll go through a whole long introduction, etc., but we want to get right back into it. We've had the lights been ringing off the hooks and we've got people asking questions. We're here with my co-host, Tamara Loehr, and our guest, Natalie Nichols. Natalie, so you mentioned earlier about, building the site, and that's part one, and obviously we need to go over that a little bit before, but most people are asking the question, well, I have a website, but nobody's coming to the site, and I don't have $100,000 to spend on marketing. So what would you tell those people?
Well, what I would tell those people is there's a few ways that you can drive what we call traffic to your site. So you can drive traffic to your site through organic social traffic, which is through social media such as Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Pinterest, all of those things. And I would definitely recommend having some regular posting and a schedule around how you post out and provide helpful information. And today's really about content creation. And it's adding value first to your customers. And you do that by having helpful posts that you can put out there and posting regularly. The other one that's probably going to do more benefit for you up front is paid traffic. To get the ball rolling, you're probably going to need to spend a little bit of money on some Facebook, Instagram traffic in particular. There's other platforms such as LinkedIn, obviously YouTube. You can run ads on all of these sorts of platforms, and it just depends on your audience and what you're trying to promote as to which platform would be best. But before you went and did that, I would absolutely recommend that you spend a little bit of time either finding somebody that specializes in paid traffic advertising, or alternatively, you spend some time learning those skills yourself or having somebody in your business do that. Because if you don't, it can be an expensive exercise. And I hear very often people say, Facebook marketing doesn't work. That internet marketing doesn't work. It does. You just don't know. You don't know what you don't know. So yes, definitely seek help if you are in that position.
Well, what would you look for when you're seeking help? Because here's the deal. You can go to Google and you could type in, PPC ad expert or Facebook ad expert, okay? You might get somebody on the top that's Peter, how do you know somebody is good? That's a question I always hear from people.
Yeah, that is a great question, because I'll be quite honest, the internet is full of charlatans, and you don't know how to pick one from the other. So I've spent years finding the right tribe and the best in the business, and I would recommend that anyone that is looking for great information and a really great starting point in digital marketing to go along to a site called digitalmarketer.com. I'm a digital marketer certified partner and trainer, have been for quite a while now, and you're going to find all the information you need about digital marketing over there.
And can they do that
for
for
help you with
website?
anything about getting online.
They'll also help you with website development as well?
They don't help with the development, but they have the information you need to know about how to put this sort of stuff together. So, yeah.
At the end of the day, Brien, sorry, Nat. I mean, at the end of the day, if you're an entrepreneur, you need to have a thirst for learning. So to me, I think learning these skills yourself and owning it and transforming to online, the opportunities are massive. It was daunting for me at the start that all of a sudden I went from having local customers to being able to seek out my 5-star hippies, which is my client avatar, and I could do that globally. And now I'm selling my products all over the world with a lot less effort. So if you're a true entrepreneur, which means you face problems head on, then embracing digital marketing and doing that transformation is really a worthwhile skill to have in your toolbox as an entrepreneur, and the rewards and the dividends for having grown your business and what's possible is really worth the effort. So, I'm telling people that whilst this is quite daunting at the moment and you're really having to change how your business looks in the face of COVID, think of what the opportunities are and what this can mean to your business. Because at the end of the day, if you're passionate and great about what you do, why just sell it to your neighbours? Sell it to other people around the world.
Excellent point.
Excellent, yes. And very succinct.
Getting back to, and then Tamara has a couple of questions, but before we go there, so let's say you have a brick and mortar store. Let's say you have a furniture store, and you never really thought about going online because it's like, am I really going to ship a couch across the country or across the globe? So, they really haven't thought about that. But now with coronavirus, now people aren't coming into their showroom, they do need to come up with something pretty quick, and they don't know what to do. So how would somebody go about, if they have a furniture store, how would somebody go about this digital transformation to make it into, a business where they can actually sell online because the items are so big to, for shipping, et cetera, et cetera?
Well, I guess it's like anything. You've got to, first of all, work out where your market is. And your market for those couches could be anywhere. And hopefully they're at a price point and there's something unique about those couches that make them desirable to people that are outside your local area as well. So it's really a case of how you're going to go about promoting them to the broader masses. And maybe you have to look at the logistics. Do you manufacture those couches? I mean, if you manufacture those couches, then you need to look into the logistics of how you can actually distribute them. And you don't need to worry about this stuff. The world's set up really beautifully now. There are so many warehousing options that you can just essentially plug in from a technological point into your online store. There's a lot of businesses that are set up to do this warehousing and forwarding and freight forwarding. So it's like Tamara said, as an entrepreneur, you've just got to look at all the little steps that you need to go through, draw yourself a diagram of what needs to happen, and then figure each piece out. And you'll find a solution for every single piece. If we had, it's such a large topic that we're dealing with, but how do you eat an elephant one bite at a time? So get yourself your whiteboard or a piece of paper and draw out the different steps that you need to go through and figure out where you don't have knowledge or you do have knowledge or a solution and seek learning on each one of those pieces where you have a gap.
And thinking out of the box, right, Natalie? I mean, I've seen you take some businesses where they're really skilled at something like furniture making, and instead of them selling furniture, you've actually helped them develop little courses on how their core skill, like they might be really good at one thing in that industry that nobody else knows how to do. And you've created training programs on, say, how to build that sort of furniture and how to do that sort of upholstery. So it's not just about thinking about your core service and putting it online. There's other opportunities that you explore as well, right?
Yeah, great point. I mean, just because you're doing this thing doesn't mean you can't do a whole heap of other things. I mean, we were working with a company the other day that was a training company for farms and had been 30-year history of training people on the land in better farming practices. Well, obviously, with what's happening now, they couldn't have face-to-face courses, and farmers are doing it tough like everybody else. They've been through drought, particularly here in Australia. But this company had 30 years of content. So we said, hey, why don't you make that into a membership library where people can access that on a whole heap of, on a base plan, a higher plan, and a sort of deluxe plan, and add your training courses online into there and push it out to the globe rather than just keeping it into one central part of Australia. It didn't make any sense at all. But they had such great content that was applicable across the globe. And that's a way that we've suggested a business pivot to take advantage of digital transformation, but and also to take advantage of what they've actually, the work that they've done over a big body of years.
So, I mean, business is one thing, but let's have a chat about people out there who are working and employees or have either lost their jobs or they're waiting to return to work. And I don't think business is going to look the same anymore. How do people in their career look at this as an opportunity? Because everyone's needing access to good digital marketers right now and to sell online. Is there an opportunity there as a career for people as well?
Oh, more so now than ever. If you were ever thinking about or had an entrepreneurial itch that you wanted to scratch, now is absolutely the time to do it because the whole workforce globally is transforming. Employees, as you know it today, are changing. People are becoming very much self-employed and moving into entrepreneurship. And that's really the differentiating point. Are you creating a self-employment where you've got a ceiling on what you can do, or are you creating true entrepreneurship where there's no ceiling and you're basically writing the own rules as to what you can achieve? And certainly during this whole time, we've been really busy working on a project called The Soul, which is exactly that. It's about combining all of the digital marketing and online skills, the best training, the best mentoring, and coupling that with an online presence immediately and products to sell. So it's kind of coupling the best of both worlds with the training and the entrepreneurial pathways with best-in-class products that are already globally accepted.
Well, if you're a salesperson, you already know how to sell. So effectively, if I was to get trained in how to sell online and couple that with my existing skills, but do it in a digital manner, I could easily get to self-employment or entrepreneurship fairly quickly. What does that pathway look like and how long does it take? I mean, for businesses, you're saying 80 days. You know, how soon could I transform and start replacing my wage and be making money on my terms online?
Well, certainly with what we've set up, you can start doing that immediately and making money within your first month. So essentially right away. It's about having the right training at the right time and building on the knowledge base that you already have. Every single person has a set of individual skills, knowledge, etc. And particularly if you've got some sort of customer service, some sort of sales background, you're already well along the way to be able to convert those skills into online and really make some headway in creating a new career, new lifestyle and becoming an entrepreneur.
So whilst businesses are going back and having to learn this, individuals can also do this. And I see that as a huge opportunity, Brien, for people who are really taking this as a time to reevaluate what they want from life, to stop and go, do I want to go back to that 9 to 5? Do I want to have a store that I have to have open 6 and 7 days a week? Or do I want to transition to something that's online that serves the business, serves me? Or my job serves me as opposed to the other way around. Are you finding that amongst the community there, Brien?
Well, there's a couple of things. I think that if everybody had an option or a choice, I think to work for themselves and to be able to work from home, and I do think that the freedom that they get by having their own business is always going to be something that they're going to want to do. So I do feel that's the case. I also feel that, we are, this new norm, which I don't know if it's going to last a lifetime or it's going to last just the next year or two until a vaccine is created or what's going to happen. But obviously, I think that one thing that has been proven is, the fact that there are people that are working from home, and if the companies are actually making money and doing well just as much with them being at home as not being at home, I think there's going to be an advantage to people, for businesses to keep people at home and not have to get on that extra real estate and extra stuff. On the other hand, they may find out that having people work from home is not good, because while you can collaborate on Zoom or in any other of the multi-platforms that are out there, it's not the same as, hey, I need to get this done. I go over to somebody's desk, and I know it's old-fashioned, but, you're sitting there and going, when am I going to get that report? Is a lot different than I Zoom you up or I call you or text you or email you and say, where's that document? So I think that, all of this is going to affect how many people are going to be at home and how many people that are at home are going to want to go out there and start their own businesses, whether or not they feel that, maybe this is now giving them the independence to say, listen, I can do all this from my house, and my boss wasn't there and I was getting things done to discipline people. And so those people, I think, maybe they are more likely to get into business for themselves. And there are other people that say, you know what, I was completely slacking off, getting a beer every 10 seconds, and thank God I'm back at work because I never would have made it. So I think with everything else in life, everything depends on the individual circumstances of every person. But I do think that there's going to be a big grouping of people that are going to sit there and say, listen, I need to get online, I need to get my digital transformation, and I need to do this on my own without anyone else, because why do I need to come to the office and go through this hassle of traffic and every other problem that exists?
Exactly. And you know what? I've been remote and doing digital for a while. So when all of this happened, nothing changed in my business, because I seek out like-minded, ethical people to work with me. I call them wellnesspreneurs, and they're actually all over the world. I prefer to pick somebody who's based not on location, but based on their values, their work ethic, and their passion for wellness. So, to be honest, Brien, when all of this happened, because I have a 100% online business, my business hasn't changed. What I have found is my sales have gone up because their behaviours are changing because they're having to buy online. And what's really interesting, Nat, if we talk to age a little bit, you actually have a heap of seniorpreneurs that are digitally transforming and starting their own businesses online and becoming wellnesspreneurs. So it's not age limited, is it?
Absolutely not. And I love seniorpreneurs because they've got so much experience, so much life experience. They understand a few things that you actually spoke about just before, Brien, really well. They understand that with freedom comes responsibility. And it's great to say, I want to be an entrepreneur, I want the freedom. But not a lot of people, I see, particularly younger people, they don't get the fact that it's a double-edged sword. The more freedom you have, the more responsibility you have to get stuff done. Then it's seniorpreneurs are, there's so much knowledge there that they have. And often they sort of have this idea that, I think I'll retire. And they realize very quickly that they're slipping and that they don't feel as energized and as excited about life. And they're looking for something to do. or in their retirement funds may have dwindled because of, global circumstances, and they need some additional income to supplement, but they don't want to go back to a traditional workforce. Being a seniorpreneur, particularly an online seniorpreneur, is the perfect solution for these people, and just love working with them. They're such a generous and such an open and fun group of people to work with.
Aren't they like the number one users of Facebook and YouTube at the moment?
They are, and fastest growing audience in YouTube. It's crazy. I mean, I know my folks. They live on it's hilarious. They sit there on the couch and they've both got their iPads watching TV and they're doing their thing on their iPads. Crazy stuff.
We're going to be right back. We have to take a break. We'll be right back. KHTS.
If you have a business problem, if someone doesn't honor their agreement and you need an aggressive attorney with over 27 years experience, the law office of Peter Bronstein has helped partners resolve disputes, franchisees resolve disputes, and other business owners who have a challenge. Let the law office of Peter Bronstein take your stress away. Visit lacorporateattorney.com. Don't wait too long and lose your rights. Solve your business challenge problem today. Visit lacorporateattorney.com.
This is Bradley Gross from Santa Clarita Grocery. Santa Clarita Grocery serves fresh groceries to families, individuals, and those experiencing homelessness. At Santa Clarita Grocery, out of every dollar donated, a full 99 cents goes directly to the needs being addressed. As an all-volunteer-led organization, we operate on a 1% overhead, receiving no government funding for our operations in the community, resulting in us being one of the most efficient charities in the Santa Clarita Valley. If you're looking to support the good for our community, please consider partnering with us by donating to Santa Clarita Grocery. What is donated is specifically kept in the Santa Clarita Valley, helping over 3,000 families, including 5 other community charities. Please visit our website, santaclaritagrocery.org, or visit us on social media or call us at 425-7575. That's 425-7575.
Dreaming of becoming the next Steph Curry or Klay Thompson, or maybe just you want your kid to look good and have fun on the court? Introducing the Shotmaster. The Shotmaster is a revolutionary basketball training aid that isolates the shooting pocket, allows you to develop that consistent shot. Shotmaster will improve your shooting efficiency, accuracy, and shooting percentages dramatically. It's the ultimate training device. There's nothing like it. Visit shotmaster.net and discover for yourself how Shotmaster will become your game changer. Shotmaster.net.
With the safe disposal of waste from our homes in the Santa Clarita Valley, Chiquita Canyon Landfill is able to create enough green energy to power 10,000 homes each year. So you can feel good that the waste from your home in the SCV is helping create a clean energy source and reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Chiquita Canyon Landfill is our partner in sustainable living.
Chiquita Canyon is helping lead the way to a greener future.
It's like no other station I've ever listened to. It's great.
Your hometown station.
Welcome. You're listening to the Ask Brien radio show on KHTS 1220 and 98.1 FM with my co-host Tamara and Loehr and our special guest Natalie Nichols. So we were going to break. We had a whole bunch of questions coming up, but one of the questions is, I believe, Natalie, you have some type of program that you have in Australia that you're going to be expanding worldwide, and I want you to go over a little bit about what that is, how it works, and how people can join.
Sure. We've created a program called Basal, and it basically couples best-in-class entrepreneurial training, which includes globally recognized digital marketing certifications. There's 12 of them, plus other strains of entrepreneurial training, such as finance, sales, just general admin. We couple that with globally recognized coaches because being an entrepreneur also means accountability and delivering and executing on those things, and people need coaching to help them along the way. We also have the best-in-class mentors, people that have really done this already and have global businesses and have been incredibly successful across several businesses. And then we have a great network to provide support to each other. But even better than that, what we also do is we have some products that they can immediately get going with to start selling. And that's in the wellness space. It's some best-in-class products. So it's a complete package. And we can offer that for $9.90 for the first 6 months of that training, which is a great deal because alone you'd be paying over $12,000 just for the digital marketing training. So particularly now in the circumstances if people are looking to change what they're doing and really get going with entrepreneurs with extensive experience and all of the training that they're going to need, Visal is an obvious answer for that.
So you've got people everywhere, right, that are doing that. You haven't it's not just Australian. I know the government is helping subsidise that, but you can take people all over the place to do that. I mean, really, digital transformation.
We've already got people in America, in Mexico, a couple of people in Asia, and we've even started to have interest from Europe as well. So it's definitely a global program. And it doesn't matter where you are. This is a program available to you.
And where do they go to sign up?
The link that they can go to go and watch a presentation about it is join.busal, I'll spell that, BEUSAIL.com/start. That's join.busal, BEUSAIL.com/start.
And how long is the program?
The program is it's broken into the program runs for groups of 3-month blocks, but it's ideal over the 12 to 24 months is the intent. So basically taking an entrepreneur from nothing to the intent is to over $1 million. And that sounds excessive, but it's possible. It's possible with the right training and the right mentoring and that to go with it. And so basically what happens
unfortunately, we're out of time, guys. So it's unfortunate. We'll be out of time. You're listening to KHTS 1220 and 98.1 FM. And we'll post on our site, and we'll also be posting where you can reach if you want to join. So it's join.BEUSAIL.com/start if you want to get a career and start making some money on your own without having to work for the big guy or big girl. And also, ethics is most important. So we talk about ethically trying to help out others. Thank you very much. Over and out. KHTS 1220, 98.1 FM.